This movie is amazing and awful at the same time. This is the perfect love letter to all the live action Spider-Man, but it is also a very, very dumb movie. It reminds me of Avengers Infinity War, and how that movie was a celebration of all the characters that Marvel had built up all this time. But it also had its own story. They had to juggle so many well-established characters, making sure their interactions were fun, but also keeping their motivations and actions consistent with what they had built up about each character. At the same time, they had to tell the underlying story, the foundation of the movie and the reason for all this fan service. They had to tell a story that can stand on its own outside of the fan service. They were able to do that with a compelling villain like Thanos and an ending that changed a lot of people's understanding of how storytelling worked in the MCU. It was just the whole package, a good movie with a truckload of fan service backed up by good writing. No Way Home is half of that package. The half that gets people hyped, that makes fans scream and clap in theaters, which is why they keep pushing for everyone to see it in theaters. The fan service in this movie, for the most part, is amazing. Like, I was feeling the hype too, even when Electro came on screen. And I don't even like the movie he came from. That movie sucked hard, but I couldn't stop smiling when I saw Andrew Garfield. And then we got the one and only Spider-Man who cries. I grew up with the original Sam Raimi movies, so seeing the villains come back with their original actors was just awesome. Surprisingly, the one that got me nostalgic was not the one I expected. I tried to avoid spoilers for the most part. I only really knew that it was a crossover because, that part is kind of unavoidable, it's in all the trailers. But then I saw the 99% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. Just wow. Like, a 99% audience score and a 95% critic score. 95%! Like, Infinity War is 85%. At first I was going to just wait, but after that I just had to see what the movie was about. Like, what could this movie have done to deserve so much praise? I mean, it has to be more than just the fan service if this movie is rubbing shoulders with the likes of Lion King. It's above Lion King. At the time of writing this script, this movie is sitting a good deal above a classic like Lion King. It has to be more than just hype, right? I mean, it has to be more than just the fan service, right? No, it's really not, because the story is dumb. A lot of things in this movie don't need to happen. The central struggle could have been fixed much earlier if the characters would just stop thinking like hyperactive children. Like, I was going through so many emotions watching this movie. First, it's amazing, then it's dumb, then it's amazing, then it's really dumb, then it's amazing, then it's really, really, really fucking dumb. Then it's amazing again, like Whiplash. I just had to talk about this movie because where it fucks up so bad that I don't see myself ever rewatching it, despite the fact that I thoroughly enjoyed the fan service. The critic score was 95% when I first saw it, but the audience score is probably not going to change. This is part of my problem with Marvel's Phase 4. The fan hype and people theorizing about the ramifications that the event of a movie would have on the MCU's universe is now more important than the movie itself. You can't really judge any of the movies on their own because it's all in service to the cinematic universe, to the point where none of the movies or the TV shows feel like they have to put in the work to tell good stories. Everyone is in such a hurry. Whatever roadmap they had has been completely lost, and every one of their TV shows or movies now is more obsessed with introducing new characters and speed running the original formula that led to the Avengers, then to Civil War, and climaxed in Infinity War. No one is willing to put in the time to build these characters. Eternals was a mess, a boring mess. They wanted a slow, character-focused movie, but forgot to build up the characters. And they had to scramble to do it all, like finishing your homework an hour before class. This isn't Guardians of the Galaxy. The Eternals have too many characters and too much backstory to be explained in one movie. And the worst part is that they could have actually pulled it off by slowly introducing them with cameos and small appearances in other TV shows and movies where it makes sense for them to show up. then you give 2 or 3 of them prominent roles in a big movie with an established character. That way they can get the screen time they need to give some of that exposition and backstory, and also allow the audience to get attached to them. And finally, you can give them their own movie. By this point, the audience already knows some of these characters and a chunk of their backstory. Then you can build the connection to the other characters from there. Instead, what we get is this rushed product. No Way Home doesn't suffer from this same problem, because the characters have already been built. Even the lazier parts in their interactions can probably be explained away because the fans already know the characters so well. Where it fails is telling a good story under all that. The idea of the story works. Hell, I was engaged at the beginning of the movie because the motivations that got the ball rolling made sense. But then it snowballed and the characters just started making the dumbest decisions. This movie combines the clever character interactions of Infinity War with the storytelling chops of Black Widow. And I am not about to review Black Widow as well. If you're interested, there's a video from a YouTuber named Mauler. It's basically what I would have said about the movie, but with better editing and a much better microphone. It's also 4 hours long, so I suggest you grab a blanket. If you like this video, which I doubt, but if you did, like and subscribe so I can make more, and check out my other videos if any of that interests you. Bye.